Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key economic and business developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 20th January 2023. I'm Nishana Pigera. In this week's top stories, India to support Sri Lanka's debt restructuring program, dues to Bangladesh extended by 6 months, state sector salaries delayed as government faces liquidity crunch, January tourist arrivals continue strong momentum. We will also briefly look at other notable news and wrap up with a capital markets update. In our main story this week, Sri Lanka's negotiations with the IMF for a fund facility took a significant step forward this week as India informed the IMF that it would support Sri Lanka with financing and debt relief, adding that such assistance would be consistent with restoring the country's debt sustainability under an IMF program. The official backing came as India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar visited Sri Lanka this week. Meanwhile, Chen Zhu, Vice Minister of China's Communist Party International Development, who is currently in the country, was quoted saying that China is considering how it could assist Sri Lanka to get over the current crisis, adding that some good news will be communicated soon. Bangladesh extended the repayment period of its $200 million loan to Sri Lanka by 6 months until September this year. Bangladesh lent these funds in 2 phases to help Sri Lanka manage its economic crisis. Repayment was due by March this year. A significant shortfall in liquidity is putting pressure on government finances, resulting in state sector monthly salaries being paid over 2 installments. President Ranil Wickremesinghe assured the due payment would be done, however, over several days, adding payment of pensions and some of the allowances will be the government's second and third priorities. The SLTDA reported that 47,353 tourists arrived during the first 15 days of January. Russia, India and Germany were the top 3 source markets. Meanwhile, Priyantha Fernando, chairperson of the Tourism Development Authority, said that 240,000 Chinese tourists are expected this year, despite fears of a new COVID-19 strain in China. Moreover, CNN Travel placed Jaffna as one of the 18 most underrated places in Asia, noting that it still has glimmers of its Indian and Dutch colonial past, resulting in a fascinating, complex culture. In other news, 10 billion rupees will be allocated to purchase paddy and produce 40,000 metric tons of rice to be given to 2 million poor families free of charge, Cabinet spokesman Bandula Gunawardena said. Accordingly, 61,600 metric tons of paddy are to be purchased to produce the intended rice. Fitch ratings are downgraded 7 Sri Lankan insurers. This follows the recent sovereign downgrade by the Agency of Sri Lankan National Rating to CC from CCC in December 2022. The rating agency stated that it believed that the investment and liquidity risks of insurance have increased due to the weaker credit profile of the sovereign and the subsequent rating action on various financial institutions. And now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all maturities fell for a 4th consecutive week. Of the 195 billion rupees worth of bids, about 95 billion rupees were accepted. And here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Carson Cumberbatch Group and equity partners sold 100% of their stake in Guardian Equity Asset Management Limited for 101.5 million rupees to CTCLSA Holdings. Guardian offers 3-unit trust funds licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka and provides portfolio management services for high net worth individuals and institutions. And that's a wrap for this week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link below for more updates on economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.